Yes, hello. Thank you for that introduction. So my name is Eric Gonzales. I'm here live from Tucson, Arizona, in very hot, sunny southern Arizona this time of year. But we're not worried because it's going to cool down and we're going to have some really nice weather here soon. Uh, Grateful to Darby for setting this up. Grateful to Barry from our department to join us. My role has been to manage the admissions department for the 2 years that I've been with the department. We're excited to have Barry. He's fairly new with us. He'll be taking over many of the admissions responsibilities as our newest admissions counselor. We're excited because our department is no longer underneath another college. We are our own standalone college, and so we are Arizona's first iSchool for the entire state, and we're really excited for the growth that's happening internally and with our staff and faculty, with our programs that we can offer, but also with the growing number of students that have been attending our programs. And so we're really excited. The Master of Science and Data Science is still somewhat new, but I can say we've had officially our first graduating class. And so we're really taking off, and we've become very popular with the subject matter here at hand. And so I'm going to go over some specifics regarding admissions and some of the expectations and maybe some helpful hints to help you with the admissions process and to give you the best opportunity possible to be admitted into the program. And I also describe some of the broader benefits from attending the University of Arizona and maybe some highlights about Tucson itself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. So the University of Arizona has a pretty competitive application process. If you're coming from an international country, we are looking to see some transcripts with a GPA of 3.0 or better. If you attend a 3-year university, we're looking for 120 units or equivalent, and we're looking for a university or college from that is accredited. For the data science program, we're looking for students who have academic experience taking courses with programming, linear math, and computer science. And so we're hoping to see 2 or more of each of those courses in your transcripts with an A or a B. And so, as I mentioned, this is a competitive application process. We are looking for experienced candidates because the program does come with, you know, some pretty in-depth courses with programming and dealing with data sets. And so it's good to have some of this experience before you enter the application process. I will say we do get a very high number of applications because this is a very popular program. And so there's some things that you want to just keep in mind. We do accept a wide variety of majors. So if you have some experience with, like I said, computer science, computer engineering, some data analytics. You may have some of those courses already as part of your previous degree. If not, we do recommend that you attempt to take some courses even after you've graduated with your bachelor's, just to give you the best opportunity, as I mentioned, with programming, linear math, and computer science courses. So if you come from certain countries such as India, where English is the spoken language, you are not required to provide English proficiency, but you can check to see if your country is required to provide some sort of English proficiency. You can get that from our website or from the grad college website. There's a link and you can find your country and it will tell you if you need to provide that or not. And it'll let you know what the minimum test scores are. If you went to a university where English was a spoken language, then you don't need to provide that either. And again, there's pretty easy to follow guide on those English requirements. You can find that right from our website, and you will see, you know, what the minimum requirements and what is acceptable. The one thing that I will say for our grad programs, we do not accept Duolingo. So you want to make sure that you're following one of the accepted exams that we take, such as TOEFL and IELTS. Applying to our program, there's going to be some things that we ask you to provide. And as I mentioned, there are some helpful hints. So as you know, we have the minimum requirements, which are hard requirements. Part of those hard requirements are, you know, paying the application fee. We do not offer fee waivers for our master's students, but at times our international student services will pay that fee for you. So you may want to reach out to our ISS department, and that is international.arizona.edu. And many times they have programs where they will pay that $90 application fee for you, but generally just expect to pay that fee when you're applying. We ask that you submit a resume or CV. This is important, especially if you're working in this industry. It's great to list down all the experience that you have working in the data field. We require, actually, this checklist is wrong. It is actually 2 letters of recommendation for this program. And those letters of recommendation, we prefer they come from a previous professor or academic mentor. Those are the best ones that you can provide. Please make sure those letters come on letterhead, are signed, are dated. The more complete they are, the better well received they are by our faculty review committee. And we're looking for some pretty specific information in those letters of recommendation. We really want to know from your recommenders why they think you're going to be successful in our program. So we're not looking for just generalized description of you as a student. We want to know what traits, what skills are you going to bring with you into the program? Why are you going to be a great student for our faculty, and you know, some of those type of things that a good letter of recommendation can provide as a little bit more information about you from another person. Really important is your statement of purpose. In your statement of purpose, this is your opportunity to wow the review committee in so many words. And so your statement of purpose, although it should be somewhat brief and to the point, it should definitely mention some pretty specific things about you. What experience do you bring with you into the program? Why are you interested in data science? And what do you think your future will bring if you are able to obtain this master's degree in data science. So those are some things that the recommenders are looking for, and that will help distinguish you from other candidates with similar GPAs and transcripts. So this is really the way you can make yourself shine is by really letting that faculty review committee know this is why we need to admit this student, because they bring all of these special qualities with them. So, you know, the application itself is not incredibly intensive or difficult to fill out. It is a university requirement that you, at some point before you enroll in classes, provide copies of your official transcripts and your diploma. But for the purposes of applying, you can just upload a PDF copy of your unofficial transcripts, and that will be good enough for the application process. Just make sure you include all of the pages of your transcript so that we have the complete picture. Now, let's say that you're still in your undergrad program and you want to apply to our grad program, you can do that. So you will just submit the unofficial transcripts that you have up to that point. And once you complete your degree and your official transcripts are available, you will request that your university send those directly to the University of Arizona. And there are instructions on how to do that on our website. And of course, you can always email our department at si_admissions@arizona.edu for more information. So that's you know, pretty generalized process for applying. We get a lot of applicants, we get a lot of inquiries, so it's a little bit too difficult for us to kind of pre-approve someone. That's what the application process is for. So we ask that you just go ahead and apply to the program. The data science program has some really just some really terrific avenues that you can go once you get your degree. And so I invite you to take a look at our website. You can see some of the different specialized fields that our students are entering. And you know, when you're talking about data science, you know, there's so many things you can do. You're not just, you know, building ODBCs. You're really learning how to manipulate data, how to use data for our advantage, what kind of things can we do with data. And what we're seeing now is that so many companies and organizations out there are looking for students with data science degrees, because this is kind of like a new or a renewed importance in this field. And so people want their data sciences so that they can look at the data that's about their organization or their company, and they can determine you know, how to make changes within the organization, and what they can do to improve, and how can they become more profitable. And so these data scientists that they're hiring are doing really well, and they're very good paying jobs. So and you know, it's internationally accepted. I mean, this is just an amazing degree, and it can benefit you, you know, literally wherever you're coming from and wherever you are. So we're excited to see, you know, so many of you from this market. We hope that you'll take into consideration how the data science degree can help you. Again, you can find more on our website at ischool.arizona.edu. And just going to talk a little bit about campus resources. University of Arizona is just a state-of-the-art university. It is Arizona's first, oldest, and best funded university. We're is located in southern Arizona. So it is medium-sized city. There's a population, metropolitan population about 1.1 million, but it's spread out, and lots of vegetation, and 9 months out of the year is perfect weather down here. And so the campus resources down here, we have some digital access, some IDs that you can do multiple things with. You get free software such as Microsoft 365. You get Arizona email that you can use for life. And there's so many resources for career development. We have the alumni network. We call it Bear Down. Bear Down is one of our football phrases that we use when we're in tough competition and we need to bear down and win the game. And so that's a U of A thing. So we say bear down quite a bit. And it just means to toughen up. And so we have the Bear Down network that brings together alumni. The alumni, the network together to share jobs that are out there, to recruit graduating students, just many opportunities because of this network. We have the Office of Student Engagement and Career Development, which offers online career resources to current students and alumni 1 year after graduation. So this is a great opportunity to get career mentoring, and you get over 3,000 employers that have these placement platforms to help you. And then we also use Handshake, which is something like Monster or Indeed or one of these very large resources to apply for jobs and find jobs that are available. And so we have over 300,000 alumni that are part of the Bear Down network. So that's just a huge network that you can connect with. We also have the Wildcat Mentor Society. It's a transformative program that connects world-class alumni with the University of Arizona's leaders of tomorrow. And so this is just a much broader net that you can build relationships. So the Alumni Association is the umbrella over all alumni programs. So you can go to them and you can find a chapter that best suits you. And then the Office of Student Engagement and Career Development will support students with their professional goals, and you can get things like one-on-one career counseling, and you can get drop boxes, and which is like storage space. U of A offers unlimited Dropbox, and just so many resources. You can see some online resources, attend webinars, workshops, things that will really help you get ready for the next step after you graduate. And again, Handshake is software through career services that is a campus-wide job posting tool for employers. I personally, in my previous job that I worked for 11 years with the state of Arizona, would put job postings into this Handshake, and I would get really amazing candidates to interview from this. So I can tell you it's very easy for employers to use, which means if it's easy to use, they're going to use it over and over again. Really an awesome benefit is all U of A students get access to free library services. So this can help you to get access to journals, ebooks, databases, so many research materials, so that you can be successful with all your courses and research. And if you want to pursue your master's, turn it into a PhD. There's so many resources to help you do that through UA libraries. All University area students have access to software and licenses as a student. You get Microsoft Office 365, Adobe Creative Cloud, Zoom, and other software. So this is pretty much, a basic overview of what you'll get here at the U of A when you apply for the data sciences degree. We just have an amazing campus, very diverse, lots of different clubs. We have over 300 clubs, so you can find a club that suits you. You can find people with similar backgrounds, with similar interests, and there's a lot to do on campus. And of course, I only made mention to bear down, but Arizona has some really amazing sports teams. So what I say is you study hard and you play hard. So you get to enjoy some fun pastimes here, and we have this huge open air football stadium, and so that hits in the fall, and it's just perfect weather to enjoy just a really dynamic, fun atmosphere. And there's just a lot to do, and Tucson is very well-connected city. There's great transportation. We have things like Lyft, Uber. We have public transportation in the form of buses, and we have also the streetcar, which is like a trolley, and it'll take you, just about anywhere you need. You need groceries, you need personal items, you need clothing, or you want to go to a restaurant. There's public transportation, which is very affordable for students. Students get a discount to all of this. And you also get healthcare through the University of Arizona, and so that's really important. University of Arizona has great healthcare services, and we also have the Banner University Medical Center, which is walking distance to campus and is the largest and one of the best hospitals in Arizona, including one of the best trauma centers in the nation. So they're just great deal of resources around. And so Darby, this is about the end of my presentation, so I'm happy to take some questions.
Awesome. Well, Eric, that was so amazing. Thank you for bestowing us with all of that amazing information. Everyone, now I will open the room so that everybody is able to unmute. You can turn your camera on if you please. If you have any questions, feel free to either unmute yourself and ask them, or you may also write them into the chat or the Q&A feature. Before we take any questions, I want to clarify one thing. Wellspring agents and students do not pay application fees. So no worries on that, Eric. I just want to make sure that everybody is understanding of the way that Wellspring does it, because sometimes it's just a little bit different. But thank you for that information. So I think everybody is in and should be able to either unmute or type in. I see we have a Q&A. All right, so Patrick asked, hi, Eric, if the student graduates from the UK or Australia universities and earn their undergraduate degree with less than 120 credits of coursework, will they be qualified for admission?
Yeah, if it's a 4-year university, you're okay. The 120 specifically for 3-year universities.
Awesome.
Great question.
All right. We have a question in the chat about cost.
So the cost is going to depend whether you attend in person, or if you attend through AZ online. And so it's gonna be a little bit different depending on your situation. It is 30 units, and so we actually have a tuition calculator. You can go online to the ischool.arizona.edu, and under the graduate tab, there is a tuition calculator. So you can use that tuition calculator. We're not really at liberty to share that because it's always changing, and I guess again there's some variables. So I don't want to say one thing and it not apply to everyone.
Totally. Awesome. That was a great answer. I hope that answered your question. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to write them in or unmute and ask them. All right, I had myself muted there. We have a question in the chat. Does it mean if student didn't earn enough 100 of their 120 credits from their previous university, they won't be accepted?
Yeah, it's going to depend on your on the amount of time it took you to get your degree. Four-year universities, generally it's 90 credits to 120, which we look at. But if you're coming from a 3-year university, which many international universities are, then yes, the 120 credits is a hard requirement. But there's some things that we have some options that we can do to help you still get into the program. Notwithstanding, it just depends on how many credits you're missing. So there's a question about, is there scholarship or GA opportunity for international students? Unfortunately, there's not much college funding available to international students, and really because this program is new, we don't have any named scholarships either. We're working towards that, but the University of Arizona in general does offer scholarships, and you can find those by going to international.arizona.edu, and they have a scholarship universe, and you can see what scholarships are available to international students. But unfortunately, within our iSchool, we don't have any internal funding besides some graduate assistantships.
I dropped the link. We had another question in the Q&A section about estimated costs. So I went ahead and dropped the link to the tuition calculator in the chat for everybody to save and use as they please. And then I think we have another question going back to the options for students. I believe this was in reference to students who do not meet the credit requirements.
Yeah, so the options are going to depend, but I'll talk about one of them. We do have something called non-degree seeking, and we use that non-degree seeking for students who don't meet all of the hard requirements, such as a 3.0 GPA, or are just short of those 120 credit units. And so that is something that allows you to take a certain number of courses. You can take minimum of 6 units or 2 classes, or maximum of 12 units, or 4 classes. And if you obtain a 3.0 GPA, which is a B or better in those classes, then you can transfer into the program. So that's one of our backdoor approaches, and we actually do have a high number of successful students who take that route. The great thing about doing the non-degree seeking is that once you're transferred into the program, those 6 to 12 units that you took in the grad program can transfer. They have the opportunity to transfer in with you. So if you're taking some of those core courses or elective courses for the data science program, those will actually count towards the program. So it's like, you're not falling too far behind.
I hope, Lynn, that answered your question. And another question in the chat, do transcripts need to be evaluated? How about percentage of students who will get a job after graduation? So that's 2 questions in one.
Yeah, so we don't require that transcripts be evaluated like through WES. We don't require that. We also don't require GRE. If you have it, you can provide it. So it's one of those things we don't require, but we won't require it, but we'll take it if you have it. We definitely need, if your transcripts are in a foreign language or non-English, then we need to have a transcript that's official in its native language, and then we need to have a translation of that. So hopefully that answers that question. How about percentage of students will get job after graduation? As I mentioned, we've only had we barely had our first graduating class, and so we're still tracking that. I don't have a percentage, but I can tell you that our program coordinators, such as Holly Brown, have a wealth of resources for our graduating students so that they have some prospects when they're graduating, so they can look at some opportunities that are available to them. And so you will have, as I mentioned, you will have resources to find jobs as you graduate. But right now we can't answer the percentage question.
Understandable. But great questions nonetheless, and even better answers. If anyone else has any questions, feel free. Now is an amazing opportunity to get it directly from the horse's mouth. We have another question. Could students study online?
Yes, we have both options, one through AZ online, which is actually about half the cost of attending in person as a main campus student. So yes, we have in person and online available.
Great.
Can a student
Question.
complete it in 1 year? You can complete it in 1.5 years. So that's pretty fast for a grad program.
Awesome. And there's another question about core courses that are required for graduation as well.
Yeah, there's three core courses. We call them Info 520, Info 523, and Info 526. So there's some foundational classes to data and some data ethics and things like that. And it's a total of 30 courses. I'm sorry, 30 units for graduation. And as part of those units, you're going to have a capstone project and an internship. And if you are doing online, our program coordinators are very flexible with how that can be done.
I see another question about acceptance rate.
Yeah, the acceptance rate right now is about 50%.
That was 1515.
No, 50.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. 50%. And is that true for international students as well?
99% of our last fall cycle were international students.
Got it. So everything rings true.
Yeah. Deadline for fall 24. Oh, thinking ahead, it's going to be February 1st. And am I right, Barry? Is it 1st or 15th? Oh, you're okay. So 1st. Okay. And then spring of 24 is September 1st.
Which is right around the corner.
Yeah. So we are actually still accepting applications for spring of 24. So you just need to submit your application by the 1st at midnight. We can consider that.
We have another question about turnaround time. I believe that's talking about location
Yeah.
turnaround time.
Yeah, the admissions process. That's a hard question to answer. We try to say you'll have your decision no later than 4 weeks after the deadline for the application. So if you're applying on the last day, expect about 4 weeks. So that's generally what we do. If you're applying for fall, it might be a little more, but we're trying to get a head start on that.
Amazing. Do we have any questions left? If we don't have any questions, of course, if you think of any after the fact, you can always email your agent or your Wellspring rep, and we can definitely get those questions answered for you. Again, I just want to thank Eric and Barry for being here with us today, tonight, depending whatever time zone you're in. All of that information was so important to all of us, and we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be with us.
Thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Oh, it looks like we have one last question. How it computer science MS, an accelerated master's program in computer science MS, how is this different?
Well, that actually is not our department. It's not our college. But we do offer an accelerated master's program for information science. And basically that is meant for our U of A undergrad students to be able to get a head start on their master's. So basically it's just a head start into the master's. So they can take 12 units of grad college while they're still in their undergrad program. So that's what the accelerated master's is. So I would assume it applies to computer science, but we have our own, and you can go from our information science and technology undergrad program, and you can do the AMP, and then you can take it into information science grad programs. We have 2 information programs, machine learning and human-centered computing, or you can take it into data science. And so Lin Young says, I'm sorry, Lin Luong says, what college are we in? We are our own college. And it's called University of Arizona iSchool.
And does the I stand for information?
It does.
Awesome. The more you know.
The more you know.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you to all of our participants who were here and asked such amazing questions. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their day. And other than that, Eric and Barry, I will see you very shortly.
Okay.
Great.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.